For a long time, we were able to watch the insane relationship between Chelsea Houska and Adam Lind play out on Teen Mom 2, and many people considered Adam to be one of the worst fathers on the show. His and Chelsea's relationship was just terrible, but once Chelsea left in 2020, he was off the air too, and you'll never believe what he's been up to since we last saw him. While he's been keeping a relatively low profile lately, Adam has been up to a lot since he left Teen Mom 2. Even though it seemed like things couldn't get any worse between him and Chelsea, it seems like he actually managed to keep it going even off the air. Not too long after they stopped appearing on the show, Adam had a warrant out for his arrest in January 2021 for failing to pay child support to Chelsea. The court determined that he'd failed to support a child and couldn't comply with the state-mandated orders. It was also said that Adam was required to be brought into custody day or night if they were able to arrest him. The bench warrant also stated that Adam had to pay a $2,000 bond to get out of jail, which would ultimately go toward his unpaid debt. This was all pretty shocking, but unfortunately, it also wasn't the first time he's done something like this. Around the time Chelsea was making the decision to leave the show, he was also arrested for the same thing. Just like the 2021 warrant, the warrant in 2020 required him to do the exact same thing, where his bond would ultimately go toward his unpaid debt. This was super consistent behavior for him, which is surprising considering how unwilling he seemed to let go of their daughter Aubrey. Before leaving the show, Chelsea and Adam went through a lengthy court battle for custody over their daughter. But at the end of the day, Chelsea was the one who ultimately got custody, with Adam only getting visitation rights. But those visitations aren't actually normal ones, since he can only see Aubrey while supervised at a government facility. Interestingly enough, he is also able to spend lunch with her and his mother on Wednesdays, but that's about it for him. In the custody case, they also considered the grandparents, and it was allowed for Aubrey to spend one weekend every month at her grandparents' house. But it was also said that during that time, Adam would not be allowed to be present in the house or spend time with her. And all of this does make a lot of sense, since he's barely involved in his daughter's life as it is. And with Chelsea and her husband, Cole DeBoer, taking care of her, it just kind of makes sense that Adam would take the back seat. In fact, it's something that he's already done with his other daughter, Paisley, who he had in 2013 with his ex, Taylor Halber. Taylor, much like Chelsea, got married to another man, and they actually decided they wanted to adopt Paisley, meaning that Adam would have to give up his parental rights. And he did so and allowed all ties to his daughter to end. Surprisingly enough, just a couple years after that happened, Cole also expressed that he was finally ready to adopt Aubrey as his own, which definitely makes a lot of sense since he's already more of a father figure to her than Adam ever was. And since Adam only gets supervised and very little bonding time with Aubrey, it seems like a no-brainer that he would also let her go. But it appears as though he's not willing to do that just yet, and it seems like Aubrey isn't completely giving up all hope for her father yet either, since she wasn't all that keen on the idea of Adam losing all his rights. Then again, in 2021, she was just about 11 years old, so it's possible that she might change her mind sometime in the future. While all of this is pretty interesting, Adam's choice to give up his parental rights for Paisley and not Aubrey is still a little strange. When asked about Adam by the US Sun in 2021, his ex Taylor said that he hadn't reached out to her at all, and that he was basically like a ghost in her life, so she didn't really know what he was up to. On top of that, she added that she wasn't really sure what made Adam decide to give up his parental rights for Paisley. Although Taylor did admit that it was her and her husband's idea, he seemed to go along with it a lot easier than they expected. And she speculated that even though it might not have been the only reason, child support most likely played a big part in his decision making. And considering the issues that he's had with paying child support to Chelsea, it does seem like the possibility of those child support payments ending might have been really enticing to him. Then again, it's strange that he wasn't willing to let go of Aubrey when he was offered the same thing. He could have stopped paying for her too, but he didn't want to do that for some reason. Adam is also no stranger to being arrested, both on the air and off it. And with his issues surrounding illegal substances, it doesn't seem like he's really ready to be a parent right now. On top of that, it came out that he was violating his visitation guidelines and sometimes showing up at his parents' house while Aubrey was there. Time and time again, it seems as though Aubrey is being used as a way for him to still hold power within the dynamic between him and Chelsea. But whatever the case may be, it doesn't look like Cole will be adopting Aubrey anytime soon. As far as what Adam has been up to in more recent months, just in January of this year, Chelsea gave an update on her co-parenting relationship with Adam. And surprisingly, despite all of their issues, it seems like they might actually be in a slightly better place. During an interview with the Ashley's Reality Roundup, Chelsea started by saying that she understood why so many people were curious about Adam, especially since it was a huge part of her storyline throughout the show. Surprisingly enough, she said that at this point, their relationship is actually okay, although she made it clear that they definitely aren't friends. So it really seems like they don't have much of a relationship, but they are able to be neutral with each other, and they don't get into as many arguments anymore. Even though they're not exactly on good terms, they're also no longer enemies, which has made tensions ease up since their intense custody battle. Chelsea also said that if she were to see him in the same room as her, there wouldn't be any bad feelings toward him anymore, which is so shocking to hear, especially with all that he put her through and his multiple run-ins with the law. You would really think that she would have a severe dislike of him. So this willingness to let her anger go is surprising, but definitely definitely great for her. Whether or not he actually deserves it is still to be determined, but I think at this point, Chelsea is choosing to let that feud go for her and her daughter's sake. Chelsea also said that things have gotten a lot easier since their daughter is growing up and becoming more independent, which means that Aubrey can now be the one to communicate and set up times to meet instead of it all having to go through Chelsea. While Adam is no longer active on social media, it was revealed that he does currently work in construction, and he also reportedly still lives in the same 4-bedroom home that he purchased on Teen Mom 2 back in 2016. But anyway, what do you guys think about all this? Why do you think Adam wasn't as ready to give up his parental rights for Aubrey as he was for Paisley? And do you think that he can ever become a good father to Aubrey? Let me know in the comments below.